Once upon a time is a peculiar way to start a story. It removes the reader from the tale, making it sound as though this happened a long time ago, perhaps even in another world. Let's say instead, not so very long ago. Not so very long ago, there was a little girl named Celine. She was poor and alone in all the world. So far, her story sounds similar to many a tragic heroine, but this is no fairy tale. Unlike those other girls, Celine was not good, nor loving, nor forgiving. She was instead mean-spirited, petty, and vengeful. She allowed anger and rage to fester in her heart. Rather than trying to better her situation, she seethed at the world, envious of other little girls and hateful of everyone around her. She did not want to better the world, but instead to make everyone suffer as she did. As Celine grew older, so too did her rage grow, until her heart was black and hard as granite. She found work as a maid in a grand house where the servants were treated as less than human by the lord and lady of the manor. But Celine hated her fellow servants even more than her employers, seeing them as pathetic and not worth her time to get to know. One day, while hanging sheets out to air, she came across an unusual snake. It was brightly coloured, odd in itself, but moreover it seemed peculiarly human in its awareness. Celine had no fear of snakes. Indeed, she had killed and even eaten a few when at her most desperate. But as she approached this snake, it rose up as though to greet her, and Celine heard an odd, hissing voice slither through her mind. Celine was not particularly pretty, but neither was she ugly. However, the snake offered to make her the most beautiful, the most desirable woman in all the world. Men would fall at her feet and give her money and jewels simply to be allowed to stay near her. Without hesitation, Celine accepted the offer, little caring for the consequences or the cost of such a bargain. Immediately her body was racked with pain, as though wasps were crawling over her, stinging every inch of her flesh. She screamed in agony and clawed at herself, tearing at her face with her nails. She was horrified to find her skin peeling off, and for a moment she was certain that the snake had betrayed her and that she would die. As the skin fell away though, rather than death, it brought relief, and so she continued until she had shed a layer of skin from her entire body. She gazed at her reflection in a nearby washtub and was astonished to see a beautiful stranger gazing back. Beautiful, but not the most beautiful woman she had ever set eyes on. Returning furious to the snake, she berated it for lying and tricking her. The snake was undisturbed and unsympathetic, reminding her that she had not asked the price of its bargain. It told her that each month from that day forward, she would shed her skin until she was the most beautiful woman in the world. As the snake had promised, Celine did indeed shed her skin each month, and each time she became more beautiful. The lord of the manor where she worked became besotted with her and showered her with gifts of jewellery and fine dresses. He divorced his wife and begged Celine to marry him. She liked the gifts and the adoration, but Celine had grander ambitions than a mere duke. Before long, she caught the eye of the king while attending a ball with the duke, and in that instant, he too was under her hypnotic spell. That very evening, he fell to his knees before her and asked her to be his queen. The king was not known to be an impulsive man, and had never before seemed to value beauty over a quick wit and a loving heart. So his loyal subjects were deeply mistrustful of Celine, and well they should have been, for it was a dark sorcery at play, making those around her bend to her every whim. There was little they could do to stand in his way, though, when the king declared that he would allow nothing to come between him and his love. Nor could his physicians do anything to cure him when, within days of his marriage to Selene, the king took ill with symptoms mimicking those of poisoning. The royal food tester did not fall ill, nor did the new queen who shared the same meals as the king. Doctors were drafted from around the world, but none could cure him, and the king died within the week. Selene felt nothing at the loss of her husband. Her heart was cold as ice. She cared nothing for her new subjects, but thought only of herself, spending all of the taxes she collected on yet more lavish jewellery and clothes, and even a grand throne carved with snakes. She was annoyed, however, to find that though she continued to shed her skin once a month, she now grew paler, even losing the colour from her hair, almost as though she was fading away. And that is how this story ends. Of course, Selene lived on and committed many terrible and cruel deeds, but that is a tale for another time. Selene did not meet her comeuppance, and good did not triumph over evil. But then, it never does. It just wins a temporary reprieve. There's a link to the music in the description. Thank you so much for watching.